Vitayu, greetings. I'm Dr. Jessica Zachowicz, Director of Fulbright Ukraine and the Institute of International Education Kyiv office. This photo exhibit is a culmination of many, many hands and many months of intensive bravery, resilience, and most of all solidarity in our Fulbright community of scholars, students, alumni, journalists, artists, activists. It is a great pleasure to join Fulbright Germany in presenting this work to audiences in Berlin. We hope for the brightest future tomorrow, and we are all part of making that future together. So thank you very much for taking time to think about the people in these photos, their stories, their experiences, and how we can help to be the storytellers through our Fulbright work, through our work as scholars and students and others. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you in a bright, victorious Kyiv. Slava Ukraini!
Kyiv, Майдан Незалежності, Independence Square, the birthplace of Ukraine's new fight for democracy and freedom. In the beginning, when Russian rockets began targeting the city, even Ukraine's closest allies expected Kyiv to fall in a matter of days. But they were wrong. Ukraine still stands. The free people of Ukraine stand strong, bravely defending their sovereignty and democracy. Attack day for millions. On the morning of February 24, 2022, many Ukrainians woke up to explosions. Russia had launched a full-scale invasion, marking the biggest attack by one state against another since World War II. Airports, military bases, civilian structures were targeted, and the first deaths were reported soon after. Since the first days of the full-scale war, Ukrainians from all walks of life tried to be where they need to be. Some joined the armed forces of Ukraine, some volunteered, some helped the displaced persons, and others work on the medical front. They all fighting for something we hold dear: freedom. This truly people's war already has many stories about the care, faith, and kindness of Ukrainians, as well as about their courage, resistance, and struggle. These stories are all united under the big yellow and blue flag and the thirst for freedom. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has brought death and destruction across the country. For Ukrainians, lives have been forever changed. Bombing and air raid sirens have become part of a daily routine for life in Ukraine, as well as life underground, as people take refuge in basements, shelters, and metro stations. Millions of Ukrainians were forced to leave their homes. Nearly 8 million people fled from Ukraine to neighboring countries, carrying their lives in a single suitcase, while another 5 million are internally displaced. Many had to run from their homes with only a few personal items. These items have become bittersweet symbols of home and hope. They connect them to the life they've loved and ache to regain one day. Massive destruction in villages and cities across Ukraine, and hundreds of thousands of homes, schools, universities, hospitals, cultural institutions, churches, and religious sites damaged. Yet, where the walls fell down, the human bulletproof spirit remains strong. The unique and world's largest airliner Antonov An-2025, the legend of aviation named Mriya, which means dream in Ukrainian, was destroyed during the Battle of Antonov Airport near Kyiv in the first days of Moscow's invasion. Russia destroyed our Mriya, but they will never be able to destroy our dream of a strong, free and democratic European state. Scarred by Russian bombs and artillery shells, Ukrainian land. From the moment Russian tanks moved in, it is Ukraine and the Ukrainians who have paid the heaviest price for Russian aggression. Above all, there has been the cost to human life. Tens of thousands of soldiers and civilians have died, and tens of thousands of civilians and soldiers alike have suffered often life-changing injuries. Events that could not be imagined in the 21st century have become a reality. Mass graves in Bucha, Borodyanka, mass burial sites in Izium and other areas retaken by Ukrainian forces. Some bodies found at mass burial sites show traces of violent death and torture. Russia leaves deaths everywhere. No victim of war emerges without suffering some kind of loss. Almost every family has lost someone close to them. Yet no one loses as much to war as children, scarred by its ravages for a lifetime. Since the escalation of the war in February 2022, at least 500 children have been killed. Almost 1,000 children have been injured. No child should experience a childhood scarred by violence and fear. Children in Ukraine deserve a childhood too. Russia began the war in Ukraine with the world's largest tank force, but the losses it has suffered reveal its weaknesses on the modern battlefield. Many tanks were destroyed, others were abandoned or damaged. Ukraine has become a graveyard for Russian tanks. Despite the enemy's advantage in the quantity of equipment, Ukrainians keep fighting for their motherland. Ukrainians have proven their ability to resist, and they have already liberated more than 50% of the land that Russia occupied after the barbaric attack on February 24, 2022. The occupation of all the captured territories lies ahead, and Ukraine will do it, and the Ukrainian national flag, a symbol of freedom, unity, bravery, and struggle for independence, will return to all temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine forever. Ukrainians all feel heartened by unwavering support and solidarity from around the world during this difficult time. It brings them strength from the knowledge that together we stand united on the front lines for freedom and a world free of tyranny and bloodshed. We bow our heads before those who have died. We ask of our warriors only one thing: come back alive. Ukraine will survive, recover, and will be rebuilt. Slava Ukraini! Glory to Ukraine!